MyDoma Studio is your complete designer toolkit. You know this, right? MyDoma makes it easy to streamline your processes, track your projects, communicate with clients, and just get organized. It is created by designers for designers, specifically to address what you need as a design business owner. MyDoma is now together with Studio Designer, and they are the industry-leading solution. With 20,000 plus users, more designers choose their platform than any other. Are you ready to reach the next level of profitability and efficiency? Book a demo with MyDoma Studio today by going to mydomastudio.com/LuAnn. That's mydomastudio.com/LuAnn. Welcome to A Well-Designed Business. My name is LuAnn Nigara, and I'm so glad you found this podcast. Together with my husband Vince and our partner Bill, we have grown our company WindowWorks from the ground up. So I know and I understand the challenges you face in running your interior design business. I also know that your talent alone isn't enough to ensure your success. So on this podcast, we talk about strategies and practical steps to help you grow your business. But make no mistake about it, we have our share of fun here too, mixed in with those aha moments that I love so much. This isn't fluff. Nobody has time for that. Whether you are a new interior designer or a seasoned designer, I am here to help you create and to manage the kind of interior design firm that you dream of. It's straight talk and it's action. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hi, welcome to A Well-Designed Business. I feel like I say this sentence a lot. If you're a longtime listener of the podcast, then today's guest needs no introduction. But then I always go and give one anyway. Today, my good friend, Corey Damen Jenkins, is back on A Well-Designed Business for the third time. And this conversation is exactly like the others, personal and powerful at the same time. Corey Damen is the principal and CEO of Corey Damen Jenkins and Associates, an internationally acclaimed interior design and architecture firm based in New York City. He's been inducted into Architectural Digest AD 100 and Elle Decor's A-List, and his work is known for its bold use of color, layered textures, and high fashion sensibility. From upscale apartments overlooking Central Park to mountain homes in Carmel and estates on the Chesapeake Bay, Corey's design philosophy is rooted in what he calls design democracy, creating spaces that are tailored, expressive, and authentically reflective of his clients. But beyond the accolades and press, Corey Damen has built an extraordinary business. He leads a multidisciplinary firm that designs luxury residential and hospitality projects across the U.S. and abroad. And he's also licensed product collections with Kravat, Hancock & Moore, Left Bank Art, and Maitland Smith. His career, which began in 1996 and hit its stride with the founding of CDJA in 2008, in a case study in longevity, reinvention, and intentional growth. Yes, he is a celebrated designer. We all know that. But we also know that Corey is also a truth teller. He's a business strategist, and he's a fierce advocate for showing up as your full, authentic self, especially when the world makes that hard. Today, we are going to be talking about his brand new book, Design Reimagined, which is available now for pre-order and shipping in September of 2025. As per typical of Corey, this is not just another coffee table book. It's a joyful, vibrant, and deeply honest look at what it means to design spaces and reinvent yourself in the process. And it's the first of its kind because the front cover of Design Reimagined comes with its own streaming series. Right? Like, think about it. You don't even know what that means, right? Design Reimagined debuted May 15th, 2025 on YouTube, and it is changing the game. We're also going to talk about, in addition to the book and the TV, about navigating self-doubt, imposter syndrome, scaling your business intentionally, the power of boundaries, and humor in the design process. You'll hear how Corey turns client tension into connection with one tiny element, and a whole lot of storytelling genius. So whether you're here for the inspiration, the strategy, or the signature Corey Damen style candor, this episode has it all. I'm so delighted to have my friend back with us today. Hey, Corey, thanks so much for coming back on A Well-Designed Business today.
Oh, so good to be back with you, LuAnn. Thanks for having me.
It's so funny. We just had to do a little mental run through. This is the third time on the podcast, and we were both kind of like, "Wait, only 3?" And then, of course, Adam's like, "Well, that's because you guys do all the other things together." And
yeah, absolutely.
I'm thinking, all 3 LuAnn Lives you've been a speaker at. Obviously, countless panel discussions that we have done together. And now we're going to do our third podcast episode. And I have lots of questions to ask you. But my first question is, what's the pin on your lapel about, my friend? That's very interesting. It's a key?
It's a key, right? So I love collecting pins, and this is a vintage piece from the 1940s, and it's a great conversation starter and a bit of an icebreaker. I often wear them when I'm meeting with a client for the very first time, and they'll often ask me, what does the key represent? What's it for? And I say, this is the key that I use to lock away all of your future and past bad ideas, and we're going to put them into an invisible box, and we're going to lock them away. And we're going to revisit them at the end of our project, and we're going to enjoy and reminisce about all the bad ideas that you had and see how much better things turn out in working together, at the conclusion of the project. And it always gets a laugh out of the client. It really warms them up and it draws them closer to you. Like, we're in a very safe space. And I just think it underscores the value of working with interior designers and architects for them, to understand that this is a real partnership. And I'm going to just take these horrible ideas you have and the bad choices you've made here in the house and put them in safekeeping in this little box.
Well, I love it because in the most kind way, it also says, get out of my lane. I'm the expert here.
Pretty much.
Your ideas are probably not good. We don't have to remind you that every day, but this little pin here, this is that reminder.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's a little tongue-in-cheek symbolism of our partnership. Yeah.
I love it. That is actually, what's so genius about that? Like, our friend you, Charles, that and all the things. Like, it literally is taking one of the big pain points that you experience as an interior designer and making it a story that's memorable, right? Yeah. Like, it takes this moment, and you can say to somebody, hey, I'm the professional. You hired me for all the right reasons. Please stop giving me your dumb ideas. Yeah. But this is like the nice way and memorable way to say it.
Yeah. Sometimes I actually will open up a figurative, like, invisible box in front of them when they're proposing something that maybe their girlfriend or their neighbor or their mom gave them over dinner the night before. And I'm like, okay, see this? I'm opening the box. See?
I got
box.
the key
okay,
right here.
No, give me that idea. Give me that. Okay, I'm taking it now. We're going to put it in the box. See? Say goodbye. And I close the box, and I take the key, and I lock it up. And I say, I'll return this to you at the end of our process.
That is the next level genius. Because now they're in the middle of doing it, and you're just saying, stop it, but nicely.
It's natural. It's to be expected. And hey, it's fine. We're all in a safe space, and it takes a great deal of humility to do what we do as professionals. And so I'm not offended. Yeah. It's good. It means that they are not robots. They're not cultish in terms of following the trends or what they're hearing online from social media or Instagram or their friends and family. They are thinking for themselves to an extent, and want to voice that because they want to be a partner and have a voice at the table. So I encourage it. I just lock it away.
Express yourself.
And
don't think I'm going to pay attention to it.
Right. And there are times when they actually have really great ideas as well. So it's also about just respecting the client and meeting them where they are and making sure that they understand that I want them to have that voice at the table. And, a little tongue-in-cheek humor goes a long way to keeping the relationship vibrant and happy and lighthearted.
But it's a great non-threatening way if they have an idea and you don't bring out the little box and key, it's like we're working with it.
Yeah.
And if you do, it's like, sweetie, stop
Yeah.
right there. Love
Yeah.
you, but stop.
Exactly.
I might have to figure out a version of that with my grandchildren.
It works, man.
Yeah,
Here's
like
the
some
box.
little
Give me
version
that
of like,
idea.
wait, where's that little like disrespectful monster coming out? Like, oh
Yes.
wait, we don't yell at mom. What are you
Yeah.
doing? Oh, we're gonna put that right there. We're gonna pretend you
Hmm.
didn't do that. I love that.
Yeah. That's great. It works out
'Cause-
so much.
yeah, because my typical MO is excuse me and
Oh,
scare the
yeah.
poopy out of them.
Yeah, that's
Excuse
also a
me.
way of locking things down. That's your proverbial key right there. So it works.
Exactly. But then sometimes I see the little face. I'm like, ooh, that was a little too scary for them. Okay.
Oh, well, they'll survive.
Said they will.
They're built for it.
That's it. Okay, so I know that listen to me, I'm like torn because I know the new book is out, the pre-sale is out. I want to talk
Mhm.
about the new book, but I also know that, you're a font of business information and, talking about the intentional ways to scale a business strategically.
Mhm.
And I'm not going to leave this opportunity without getting into your ideas there too.
Yeah.
Which do you prefer we talk about first? Does one feel more organic to you? One leads into the other better? How do you want to do this?
It all ties together. I
Yeah.
do look at these things comprehensively with my team, with our publicists, our amazing PR team. We look at everything uh, wholesale, holistically, and try to create um, connectors, connective tissue, if you will, between
Mhm.
all of the various opportunities so that there is a nuanced, clear narrative that
Mhm.
connects everything. So
Right.
we can start with the book because it will easily and naturally segue into everything else.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, is title of the book? I mean, I know it's
Yeah.
in pre-sale now, but coming out, and we're like all of us that have already ordered our pre-sale, we're going to get it shipped to us in September of
Yes.
2025, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So
Yep.
I remember, oh my goodness, was it a year and a half ago at High Point? You were like teasing little copies of like, covers of the book, and you're like,
Yes.
which one do you like? This one or this one?
Yeah.
I'm like, you're not asking me a question about pretty, are you? Come on.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's been a great process, a very detailed and comprehensive process as well. Because
Mm,
designing a book is a lot of work. It takes, I think, sometimes more time than running a client's project because it's so detailed. And we're very, very excited about this one. This one, we're very proud of Design Remix, my first book that came out in 2021. Design Reimagined takes it to the next level. And we titled it Design Reimagined for a number of reasons. For one, there are no new construction projects in this particular book, unlike the first book.
oh.
Every project in this one are all renovations, whether they
Oh,
be historic
interesting.
homes or apartments, which I think people are going to love because so many of us already have a house and just want to know how to make it better.
Right.
But it's a great book that really celebrates the joy and love of interior design. It's a joyful book. It's happy. The
Mm.
colors, the patterns, the textures, so vibrant and exciting. And from the front cover all the way through, it just really celebrates the beauty and I keep saying the word joy, but that's really what it is. It's just the exciting venture of creating
Mm.
beauty in one's home. And it's full of tips and tricks of the trade, a lot of how to. I spill the tea on how I achieve certain design aesthetics and the decision making process that I go along with my staff through for every project. And also, I think this book is very different from anything else out there in the sense that I keep it very real
Mm.
with the reader. So
Mm.
this book tackles my own journey with my own career. I talk about self-esteem. I talk
Mm.
about imposter syndrome. I
Whoa.
talk about overcoming doubt and fear when you're launching a business, maintaining a business, scaling up, making tough decisions, some of which were mandated by the pandemic. So I pull the varnish off, the veil away from sometimes this very shiny box that I think a lot of my peers present our careers in. That it's just so easy and fun, and this just kind of fell into my lap, and now I'm just decorating, and everything's just wonderful and great. My life is more like everything, everywhere, all at once,
Yeah.
and so the book attacks that viciously. It really breaks it down. It's no holds bar, and it's, I think, a much more balanced and down to earth real life approach to what
Mm.
design is. And I think designers and homeowners are going to really appreciate that because it
Mm.
doesn't it honors the fact that as humans we face challenges.
Yes.
And I'm grateful that my publishers and my editors at Rizzoli were willing to let me move that narrative through the book and not just let it be a book of pretty pictures.
Yeah. Well, I think that's probably one of the reasons, and we've never discussed this before, but for me, I think it's one of the reasons why, when we met years ago, we just clicked
Yeah.
because it's, I mean, look, I'm not interested in the nonsense. I'm not interested in and I think for me, when I started this podcast 9 years ago, at that point, I was 35 years in business. And anytime anybody tried to tell me, oh, it's been a joy, I'm like, you are out of your mind. That's like telling me when you have a child, every day is just sunshine and unicorns. And it's like, it's literally 80% like agita having a child.
Yes.
The child 20% makes up for it. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
Screaming all the way every single week, 9 months to dance lessons. I don't want to go, and I'm late, and I'm putting my shoes on. And then 4 minutes in a recital, and it's like, yeah, want to sign up next year, sweetie? Right? Right? And so that's why I think you and I just click so intensely at the beginning, because you are always willing to say the truth. And the thing is, the truth is, you can have wild success. It can be what we see on Instagram, but there's always the other part. And it's not the other thing I always loved about you when you share your truth is it's not but. It's not like, oh, it looks great, but yeah, I worked hard. It's like, I'm just sharing with you the hard work I've done. Your hard work might look different. Maybe you'll get lucky and you'll skip 5 of the bad lessons that I had to learn. But you just have always come across with that honesty wrapped in the gratitude of what you have made out of the hard lessons, right? And so that's what it sounds like you're really leaning into with this second book, right?
Absolutely. Even the book's dedication, it says, and I have it mostly in my brain as far as memorized, but in the basic of it is that this book is dedicated to all the creatives out there who are struggling to break through the chains of self-doubt, fear, and imposter syndrome. And I said that always remember that broken crayons still color, and delays do not mean denial. So this book was designed and written as a celebration, obviously, of great design and decoration. But I was very mindful of the readers. And I said creatives because, of course, my fellow designers were all creatives. But there's other people out there
that could benefit from it, right?
Yeah, it could be the mom who has raised her children, which is the greatest job on earth, the most important job on earth, and now wants to return to interior design, or the lawyer that wants to step out of being a lawyer to pursue a creative, career, or a graphic designer, or an architect, or an interior designer, or a gardener, a cook, a chef. There's so many creatives out there, and because so much of what we have to do is trafficking in the fields of opinion, it's easy for us to beat ourselves up and to get down on ourselves if we don't have enough likes or enough followers, or people didn't pick up on this IG reel that I created, right? Or the phone doesn't ring for a while for a new client. The economy is rickety and ups and down. And does that mean I'm not talented? Does that mean I'm not worthy? And we, more I think so than other professions that are governed by, say, a bar, like with the lawyers out there, or the medical field, we are held to a bar of basically who is willing to hire us for our talent.
Yeah, like subject to opinion, right?
Yeah,
like
we internalize it.
In a case, you win it or you lose it, and the facts determine whether you've won or lost, whereas it's not a fact that the room is beautiful or not beautiful. It's a subjective opinion.
Subjective. Yeah, absolutely. So I wanted these readers in this next book for Design Reimagined to realize that, I see you, I hear you, you are seen. And as successful as a designer might be, even if they give the impression that everything is just, sunshine and lollipops, I'm here to tell you, at least for me, it's a struggle. And I'm willing to share not only the struggle, but also how to overcome it with a smile on your face. And I just want the book to be one of enjoyment and also encouragement that people will hopefully come back to when they are feeling down about whatever, and realize, tomorrow's another day. You can pick up, the face off the ground. Okay, today, be sad, be discouraged. It's okay to also accept those feelings and sit with that. but also tomorrow, let's fight on, let's continue to progress and persevere.
Yeah.
And that's why the book is called Design Reimagined. It's not just about reimagining the spaces, but reimagining yourself emotionally, mentally, and then recreating a better version of yourself as a professional moving forward.
It's it's absolutely needed. I of course I can never not turn the brain part off that like evaluates it from a business strategy standpoint. I'm like, and it's also genius. like everybody wants to see in the industry the beautiful pictures and the beautiful spaces and get the inspiration from the things that your brain, your team has created, but then to also give it that depth. It's funny. You were the first one, to my knowledge, that bestowed you're the Oprah of the interior design industry on me. You remember in
Yes, yes.
2019, I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh my God, can we videotape that and just play
Yes.
that over and over? Right.
Yes.
But it's funny because I have a book of Oprah's that is the things I know for sure, because that's what she always says, what I know for sure.
Mhm.
And, you know, what you just said about your book feels like to me that same sort of thing. It's like I'm a designer, I read it through once, I love it, or a creative, I read it through once, I get the lessons, I get the inspiration, I admire the work. But today I just need a little shot in the arm. And so let me just open up a page and just kind of remind myself. And that's like what, like with that book with Oprah's, I'm like, okay, Oprah, what does Oprah know for sure today? Because Lou, you need a little Oprah kick in the butt today.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely. You're right on. I mean, I think that creatives and just people in general are in a place right now where we need, great news, encouragement, like you said, a shot in the arm of encouragement. And sometimes designers can be very stingy and very condescending with how they treat their fellow colleagues in the field. I don't know what that's about. I think it's maybe governed or fueled by self-esteem, or lack thereof. Like I had to
right?
I got to overcompensate for what I really think about myself by acting like everything's perfect and you're beneath me or whatever. So I just want to hopefully create a space within the book's pages where that designer or reader will feel like they're at home. Yes, look at these beautiful homes, but we share stories about the clients and their challenges and what we had to go through to get that project finished. So it's going to be, I think, it's going to be different. It's a different coffee table book than what's out there right now.
Yeah. No, I love it. I just think, like I said, I think it's going to be like a very valuable companion source. So the way you're describing it, it's equal parts of joy and celebration of design, but it is needed. I mean, what am I, 1,100 interviews on this show and another 300 or 400 on the other show at this point. And I've not met anybody that in the privacy of the booth really is like, I'm that person and I got it all locked up and no, I don't have to worry about a thing. Once we get into this booth and we have a real conversation on or off air, it's at some level, everybody, we're human. How can we not experience doubt and, imposter syndrome in anything we do? It's just, I think it's just a matter of, where's the weight? Is it, mostly imposter syndrome, or is it like a little bit and we just have to deal with it, right? It's like, taming it. And my friend Heather Hansen, I don't know if you would have met her in Orlando because you were in quick and she ended up being sick she was the MC at LuAnn Live in Orlando when you were there. Okay. But I didn't even know she was sick until the event was over. She kept coming out, doing her part and going to her room in between when she could. What a consummate professional. Like she wasn't like, I don't feel good, I got a stomachache, can somebody else MC? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Heather, yeah, she really is. And but Heather had like a 25, 30 plus year career as a trial lawyer. And what her signature thing that always sticks in my head is gather the evidence. Right? So when you do have the thoughts of imposter syndrome, what's your evidence of the way you kill it? What's your evidence of the places that you've done good? And like, if you need to just sit in the evidence for a minute, sit there. And the way you're describing this book feels like, okay, I need to go back to the evidence. I need to go back to know that I'm not alone in this journey.
Yeah. Imposter syndrome is like an emotional form of cancer.
Yeah.
And I think many of us have it. The
Oh, I got
question is, what
goosebumps on that
stage
one.
is it? You know, yeah, it's like if once you're infected with it, it's hard to get rid of. But the question is, are we mitigating its spread? Is it
Yeah.
stage 4, or are we forcing it into remission, which takes
Yeah.
constant effort? It takes constant um, thought processes to manage it, to keep it under control and to keep it from spinning out and from consuming our souls, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's okay to say I've struggled with that and I've encountered this, but I've got it under control. Like, I'm living with it in remission
Yep.
versus it taking me out. And I think as long as we remember that it's okay if we have it, but we are managing it.
Yeah.
Um, that's the safe space I think we have to create for each other in this industry.
That's profound, Corey, because that's very understandable and relatable. That it's not you're not necessarily looking for it to be, you may not get,
Eliminated.
yeah,
Yeah.
you might not get to the point where it's never there, but are you managing it? And are you doing the things? Are you eating right? Are you exercising? Are you eating
Exercising.
good
Yep.
food to mitigate its impact on you? And so
Right.
are you doing the things like gathering the evidence that I am a worthy designer? I do create beautiful spaces. I
Yep.
have a process and I know how to run it,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
So
So
smart.
that's what the book tackles. And so I just can't wait for it to come out September 9th. And the other thing that I'm really excited about with this book, LuAnn, is that it's the first of its kind in the sense that it comes with the front cover comes with its own streaming series.
What?
Yeah.
This part I didn't know.
Yeah. So we're really, I'm always thinking about, and this is to your point earlier about ways to scale up our businesses and to expand. So we're always thinking about ways to do things differently. And so I wanted to produce a book that was accompanied with its own streaming series, and the front cover comes with its own show.
How the
So
heck does that work? What does that mean? I can't even wrap my brain around.
oh, and,
Is it
and
like
you're
a
the first
QR
person to really
code?
hear about this. Yeah, I mean,
Oh
like
my God, right?
it's so exciting. But so basically, I was approached by Goodbye Pictures, which is the television production company behind some of the biggest hits on television, the Dream. It's a Dream Home Makeover with
Oh,
Shay McGee,
okay.
Project Runway.
Oh, whoa.
Let's see, Million Dollar Decorators from several years ago. It's a multi Emmy and Peabody Award winning production company in Los Angeles. And so, what we've done, we joined forces to produce the first high end, like 4D, like high level quality Netflix level series on YouTube for YouTube TV, following the ins and outs of the production of this book's front cover, the home that's featured on the front cover, starring my client and myself. And it goes into a comprehensive, really thorough breakdown behind the scenes of what made that front cover home possible. It is not like HGTV, where we're just saying we did this whole house in 2 weeks and for $500. It really tackles the real costs, the real budgetary challenges. It goes into the demolition, the renovation, the construction, and of course, the glamour of the installation. And it's a multi episode for a season. It's coming out May 15th. So it's
Oh
very,
my
very
God.
exciting. And so we named it Design Reimagined. So how this works is Design Reimagined, the book. The book's front cover comes with its own streaming series, which is also titled Design Reimagined. And it speaks more to what we were talking about earlier about, taking the varnish off the design and making it more bite-sized, more relatable, more down to earth. So it talks about the challenges, the struggles, and overcoming the various obstacles in the design process. Every episode has takeaways, how-tos. It's filmed in the style of my masterclass. So I'm teaching on each episode as well. It takes the viewer behind the scenes with me as we're shopping for materialities. The client's on camera. She's talking about her challenges and what she wants to see accomplished with the project. The contractors are on there. We're putting up the Gracie wall covering. Things are being installed, and we're overcoming obstacles that present themselves in the process. And there's a reveal at the end of each episode of the space we worked on. And it's very high level.
Wow.
There's nothing else like it. It's the first of its kind. I'm excited. I'm nervous, obviously, because it's coming out, and we're pioneering new waters, new frontiers with this, if you will. But I'm looking forward to seeing, it come
Oh
out
my.
with the book, or in advance of the book. Actually, it's going to be dropping
Yeah.
before the book, so building up towards
S-
the book's release.
So, okay. So, in order to watch it, do we go to your website? Do we go to YouTube? What do we
It's
do?
on YouTube. Yeah,
Wow.
YouTube has become the number one streaming platform. It has surpassed Netflix and Hulu and all the other platforms out there. And what we wanted to do is to produce Netflix level, or cable TV level, television style, production,
Yes.
but in a platform that everyone can access, that everyone can watch on the comfort of their phone or their tablet or their laptop, on the train, in the car. Well, don't look at it while you're driving, obviously. But if you're in the passenger seat, you can
Yeah.
watch it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but something that's very accessible, and it hasn't been done on that level. Imagine like a dream home makeover level television show,
Right.
but on YouTube with the drones and all the high end cameras. Like it's very top notch.
Wow, congratulations. That is exciting. And so on YouTube, we just Google your name or Design Reimagined?
Yeah. Yep. Go to my channel, Corey Damen Jenkins, on my channel, and it's there. One episode bi-weekly starting May 15th. And, it's like a regular show, so it has a season. So the first season's dropping on May 15th. So if you love the front cover of Design Reimagined, and you
Yes.
want to know how that home came to be, this show takes you into the adventure of that process. So
Wow.
we just wanted to kind of mix things up and not just drop a coffee table book, but again, make it really interactive and come at this from a multi-angle level, and treat the eyes not just with the printed page, but also with the digital world as well.
Yeah. And it sounds like to me, somehow, some way, you convince both the production company and the consumer, that your client, that you were going to talk about the real stuff. This wasn't
Yeah,
going to be a fake design show.
absolutely.
Like
Yeah.
that's, like you said, that's not typical. That's not
No.
normal.
And it's a high-end show. So I think
Yeah.
that there's a yearning right now, especially in the design community and for homeowners, to see something done beautifully and with more of a
Yes.
high intake.
Right.
But there are elements there that definitely speak to being cost effective with our choices. Like
Mm-hmm.
we had some extra material left over from the stone marble that we use in the kitchen. And so on camera, you'll see how we put that to work, putting it on a hearth and surround for a fireplace in the dining room. So it's not like the lifestyle of the rich and famous. It's more
Right.
like, this is high end, yes, and it's a big budget, yes, and here are the things that you can do to emulate these different design techniques in your home on any budget.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's very comprehensive. It goes into different paint finishes and different fabrics and how to accomplish this look on a tighter budget. So I think everyone that watches it will get something fun out of it.
Wow.
There's a lot of heart in it. There are some tears that are shed because it's very emotional for the client and for myself, going through the processes, through the surprises that come up on camera sometimes. So it's got heart. It's got vibe. It's got verve. It's fun. Very upbeat. A lot of laughs. If you like any of Goodbye Pictures' other shows like Project Runway and $1 Million Decorators, it's that, just now accessible without a cable subscription,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is
yeah,
great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it sounds incredible. I think the silly thing that's going through my head is I don't want to watch the first one and have to wait for the second one. I almost feel like I've been conditioned. I want them all now.
Yeah, it's like they call it binging.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's there's 7 episodes. The trailer's dropping very soon, and then it's 7.
We're going to talk about the planet before we get to the show. I think we can all see that the materials we use in this industry, the processes in this industry, and the life cycle of those products, they're having a negative impact on the people and the planet. And I think we could probably agree that we can and we should work together in some way to improve that. And we do know from this podcast that we are better together, aren't we? Look at the community that we've created together. Look at the things that we've achieved because we were together. So I want to tell you about an opportunity. It's called Interior Design Declares. The United Kingdom has started the very first country group chapter of Interior Design Declares, and they are making a call to action. They are asking the USA and any other country that you might be listening from to join together and start a country chapter in your country. Interior Design Declares is a voluntary pledge that you make to improve and learn together to lower the impact that this industry is having on the planet. It is a network of designers, suppliers, and educators all working toward the same goal. And guess what? They don't care where you are personally or professionally in the journey. They just know you have to start somewhere, and why not with them? So, this is a call to you. If it resonates with you, if this is something you have wanted to get involved in, but you weren't sure how or where to do it, Interior Design Declares needs 5 people from each country to be a co-founder volunteer. And then once they have that, they will guide you on how to run the group, how to share the learnings, and how to inspire and campaign together to lead your country and the industry to do better, to be better. Now, if you are interested, you can learn more about the UK group at interiordesigndeclares.co.uk. And if you're even just a tiny bit interested in wondering what it would mean to start a chapter in your country, you don't have to worry about being obligated. Just interested is all you need to be. If that's you, drop an email to info@interiordesignDeclares.co.uk and put in the subject line, LuAnn sent me. Okay, so info@interiordesignDeclares.co.uk, and we will also put these links in the show notes. So you got a little interest, take a little step, take a little action, make a big change.
Episodes. So one episode every other week starting May 15th, and it'll just continue to build. And then we'll start filming the second season. So yeah, Design Reimagined is very fun because it is, again, talking about breaking the chains of fear, self-doubt, and imposter syndrome. So we go into my childhood and what I went through as a kid. And, my drawings are on there reflecting my love of superheroes. It's very tongue-in-cheek. It's fun. But there's also a lot of what I believe are nuanced narratives there that I really think people are going to enjoy.
I love it. And, I like that you brought up the fact that there are actual true budgetary concerns, because I feel like it's kind of the analogy to someone who thinks that a designer at your level doesn't ever have the imposter syndrome thoughts, right? And then we also have designers that believe when they get to a certain level of consumer that there's never going to be a problem with budget. But the reality is it's always part of it. It might be, are we spending 20,000 or 25 for this lamp? You know what I'm saying? Whereas a regular entry level designer is deciding between 200 and 250, but there's always budget regardless. I mean, everybody protects their money no matter how much money you have. You just have more discretionary funds to make the decisions with. But it's so funny because I just did a solo episode for Window Treatment for Profit about 2 weeks ago on the luxury consumer for window treatment professionals. And I'm like, look, I'm not telling you that they don't ever decide this or that. Like, there's nobody that's just like, spend all my money, I don't care, right?
Yeah, that rarely happens.
Exactly, but it's converting the value, right? Yeah. We all know when we will splurge on a thing. One of the examples I used is like, maybe you're not, I'm not a first class flyer, right? Like I fly all the time and I'm not a first class flyer, but there might be one day where I'm like, I need to arrive rested and I'm going to put an extra couple grand down here to ride first class, right? So what's happening is my mind is making a value judgment on that. It doesn't mean I'm going to ride first class every time, no matter how much I love it. Right. And so it's the same thing with the luxury consumer. It's just that they have more of those decisions at their disposal, right?
Right. Exactly.
More often they can make those decisions. Well, I'm worth it here, or that's a good investment here, or whatever, right?
Yeah, and you'll see with our client, Erica, she and her daughters appear on the show. The show centers around them, and she's a single mom. So I think it's going to be very compelling as a story for people to see a mom, moving her daughters from one situation into a new beginning, a new chapter, and starting over in New York City and getting this apartment and creating a new haven for her to raise her 2 girls. And when you are a mother and you're solely responsible in terms of the household and the expenses and making all of this happen, there's going to be some, tough conversations about budget and where do we splurge, where do we cut, and you see that happen on the
Yeah.
series. And so I think it's going to be very compelling, very heartwarming to see this woman with her daughters make this transition on the show. It's a big payoff. There's miniature payoffs at the end of every episode, and then the finale is a big payoff when we unveil the entire home to her, and we actually had the cameras there. So when she stepped off the elevator for the very first time, all the emotion is caught right there on camera.
Wow.
So I think people who are watching it are going to see themselves, no matter what their price bracket or budget brackets might be. They're going to be able to relate to a mother trying to do her best to give her two girls the best life possible within the budget that she can afford.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking forward to people seeing that and again, being hopefully encouraged.
That's amazing. That's incredible. I love it.
It's fun. It's
fun. And so this brings me to a practical part of the conversation, which is you are particularly adept at managing multiple verticals within your world. Masterclass, you mentioned it. We didn't really talk about it. We can if you want, but masterclass, writing the books, creating the TV series, all of the speaking that you do in the industry. And by the way, going to all of the industry events. And by the way, why don't as we started the interview today, you're like, hang on, I'm answering a client. I'm like, right. Because, you're still, texting a client, a yes, no, or a maybe. And it's a lot. And Corey, you know me. I just saw you in Las Vegas, and me, you, Adam, Rick Campos, and Jude Charles. We had a few minutes to chat. And once they all got into a conversation, I just looked at you and I'm like, are you okay? Are you good? You are everybody was just me. You're so busy. And I'm like, right. But I'm 15 steps behind this guy. And I just I really genuinely, I know that there's a runaway train that can get going. And even if it's a successful train, but I really was like, are you happy with all of this? And do you feel good about it? And if the answer is yes, which I'm assuming because you looked at my eyeballs and I said, it's me and you. Do not tell me the truth.
Keep it real, right?
And I said, and I don't have to tell anybody, but then I know I have to check in with you guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to tell everybody you're really miserable. But the thing is, you do seem genuinely happy, and you did answer me and look at my eyeballs. But it's how, man, how do you have so much going on and you just seem to joyfully step in and out of it and manage it?
That's a great question. I was so happy to see you in Vegas. Just seeing your beautiful, familiar face in the crowd was just great. It was cathartic for me, and I appreciate the question. I appreciate the check-in because I know I can always keep it real with you. I am absolutely thrilled with everything that's happening at our firm. To your point, we do not allow grass to grow under our feet. We have a lot going on. It's a very busy beehive. Masterclass was extremely successful for us. It's been viewed now by tens of millions from what the analytics tell us from the folks there. So they're very happy. It was shown on Delta for
that's
over
where
a year,
I saw it.
and that brought in requests from clients literally around the world.
Wow.
I've joined the expert in the last
I didn't
week
know that part.
To kind of navigate the questions that are coming through now, because I do want to continue helping homeowners, and even more so beyond homeowners, I want to help my fellow designers to have a sounding board to come to me and to vent about the horrible client or the legal issue they're facing with their contract, or what do you think of this color palette I put together for this home? Do you like it? Thumbs up, thumbs down. So I joined the expert now, because when people DM me on Instagram or send me an email, I can't always.
You can't even keep track of it.
I can't. So
oh my God,
do expert,
I can't imagine you, because I get it, and I'm just like. I sometimes screenshot it and send it to Mariali, my EA, and I'm like, you got to remind me to handle this. And then 2 weeks later, she's like, you didn't. I'm like, I can't imagine what you're getting.
It's too much. No, we're looking forward to joining the expert platform to give me a scheduled time where there's slots in my calendar, a few times a week. and we're going to devote an hour or so to each listener and caller that comes in. And it could be a student in school, in design
Right.
school, ask me to give them, feedback on their presentation. Designers, like I said, with their projects, or just to vent about what they're going through. And of course, homeowners. So I think it's about having a strategy and having a calendar, a schedule to manage all the things. When it comes to our licensing, as you know, we have a very, very robust licensing program. We have an expanded Craft collection of wallpaper and fabric materials coming out in September. We were just with Craft yesterday,
Wow.
picking out the final colorways for that. The first collection's done very well, so now they're expanding that. Hancock and Moore, Maitland Smith, furniture and case good collections, respectively. We are tripling the size of that collection by fall of this year, and they've given me an additional 1,700 square feet of showroom space in High Point.
Wow.
So now I got to fill all that up, which is great because it's selling. It means that people love it and it's moving. And
yeah, they don't give that if it's not working.
Exactly. It's always a positive sign, right? And I gave you the sneak peek, the heads up about my new lighting collection,
yes,
which is coming out with iHoltz in January of 2026. It's going to be a global partnership, a multi-year deal that will be available in over 115 showrooms around the earth, with 7 showrooms here in the States. It will be releasing it with the launch of it, I think, overseas in France at Maison Objet. Then we'll go over to Italy, and then it will release here in spring, High Point market of 26. So I think that with all of that, and then with the book, the streaming series, and our day-to-day client projects, the answer to your question is I have a great team.
Yes.
I have a great team. I have learned the power of delegating things out. I trust my team. I train them carefully and thoughtfully in terms of what we want, so the client is getting top-notch deliveries in the vision and in the voice of what I've already established for the brand. And that way the client does not feel disenfranchised when I'm perhaps not at every single meeting that is being, hosted at the studio or at the client's home. And the clients understand that I'm, signing off on everything. I'm approving everything. I'm still deeply involved with the design process. And whether it be like I was just now before we hopped on this podcast, answering a text from a client, it's about that FaceTime, that little touch point that lets them know, yeah, you're the principal of the brand, but you're still keenly interested in what we're doing, even if you're not there for every nuanced conversation I have with your team about whether we're doing this cabinetry in lacquer or eggshell finish, So I think it's very important that you're just present and have a really good schedule. Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I think anybody that pays attention to you, even on social, if they haven't personally met you, I think that it's not a stretch to really see that you would remain personally involved with the clients, regardless of how much trust and how much execution the team is doing. And you have an incredible team. They're good humans too.
They're good humans.
I love about them.
I love my team.
Yeah. So that's not even like where sometimes I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe, right? But like, I know it's true for you. And I think it's not just because I know you. I think it's clear in everything about your person, right? But the thing about it is like, I have a business with multiple verticals. I do. And I have multiple businesses, right? Not only just the verticals under LuAnn Inc., but also Exciting Windows. And then I still have my, involvement to some level advisory for Window Works. And when when you run through all the things you're doing, listen, I can get a lot done in a day, and I can keep a lot organized with an incredible team. But I think what the difference is, Corey, when I look at what you do and how you do it, is it seems like almost every one of them is high stakes, high profile. You see, I have some things that are low stakes, low profile. Now, I'm still who I am. I'm 110% person. I'm going to give it my best. But there are times when I'm like, yeah, me and 30 people are going to know this. I'm going to know it. It matters. But it seems like everything you do is so high stakes.
High risk, high reward.
Yes, it's crazy. And even just from the standpoint of navigating, is it worth doing? It's interesting because like this new level with the expert, right? Like, okay, so I go to business strategy. What's the why? Okay, it's going to give you an idea, an ability probably to filter out some high level clients that maybe they don't have the chutzpah to just email Corey Damen Jenkins and Associates and say, I'd like an inquiry call. So they want to
Mhm.
go through and they want to do a little consultation. But when you take it to the level that a design student can ask about their board, a
Yeah,
design
yeah,
colleague can ask about a problem on a job,
yeah.
that is just an extra level of commitment as a human to the industry. Like, legit, not necessary, but really amazing that
But
you're
you're
doing it.
but you're doing the same thing, right? And so I
Yeah, but
think
I'm
that
not doing the other 90 verticals that you're doing, making TV shows and books and,
I
show houses and multiple $1 million design projects. That's
yeah,
what I'm saying. It's
I just
crazy.
well, I think on our first podcast years ago, we talked about, me getting my start, knocking
Yeah.
on the 779
Mhm.
doors to find the first client. And we may have touched on the fact that when I was getting the brand off the ground, I reached out to my fellow designers in Michigan and asked for help. Like,
Yes.
who's your favorite wallpaper installer? Who's
Yeah.
the best electrician? And no one wanted to help me.
Yeah.
And people were just so cagey and they were just gatekeeping all
Mm.
of their resources. And I had to figure out everything by myself. And I both was successful and also had a lot of failures because no one wanted to guide me or help me. And so I told myself, if I'm ever in a position of influence, if I'm ever in a position of success where I can not pull the ladder up after me, but leave it
Mm.
down for others to climb, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
So with the expert, I enjoy hearing people out because designers come up to me all the time and they want to vent, they want to get things off their chest. And I love hearing them out. I want to be able to tell them, listen, this is what you need to put into your contract to
Yes.
avoid this. This is what I've done. Or, yeah, that's not a good job. You should just let that one go and pass. Something else better will come along. Or just to give them encouragement because giving encouragement is something that costs nothing. And I think right now, with the way how the world is, we all need a little sunshine, a little pep in the step, a little pep talk, if you will. And I am honored to be in a position where I can do that. I may not be able to always do it, but with a schedule, like with the expert, I can actually formulate times and pockets in my calendar where it
Yes.
is reasonable for my schedule,
Right.
hopefully reasonable for the user that wants to come online to, it fits their schedule. And I can set aside everything else and focus on just that. And that's to
Mm.
me so much more orderly and um, strategic than the DMs where
I
I
know.
get this and I got to forward it to my EA and then I forget, or I type up a draft, I forget to send it. I want to make
It
everybody
is.
happy, but it's
It's
impossible.
hard.
So
It's hard.
I need
And I feel like
structure.
sometimes we ruin our reputation more than we enforce it when
Yeah,
something's in a DM and we don't get back to it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's very, very hard.
yeah.
Because I know the heartfelt DMs that I get. I can imagine the ones that you get,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. People are having a tough time out there. And
Yeah.
then some are doing well, but they're scared to scale up. They're scared to hire their first employee. When do we
Yeah.
graduate from working with 1099 independent contractors to a salary employee? And should I offer 401k and
Yeah.
healthcare? Like people have questions. And so I'm at a position in my career where I'm happy to share and give back, whether it be through the book, through Design Reimagined, the series, through the online chats with the expert. I think that we need to remember that we can't really know where we're going if we don't know where we've been.
Mm.
And I know where the industry is going. It's going to continue to be successful, but I think that people need assistance and support and encouragement to do the right thing because
Mm.
we don't have a bar like the lawyers do. We
Right.
don't have the medical facilities like doctors do to, get the degrees and to get the certification. So all we have are veterans in the industry who are in a position to teach. And I
Mm.
love to teach and to share and to provide a sounding board for those who need it.
I love it. I love it. You know, you're just known for your big, huge heart. That's really the truth of it. You really are, and it's it is. I don't know. It is just the genuine gift of you on this planet is that core of you, and I can't recognize that core of you honestly without recognizing Adam
Sure.
also
Yeah.
because him I love that I knew you before
Yeah.
and you're who you are as a core person, but he does really seem to compliment you and support you. And there are times that you don't know it, that I will go and text him and I'll be like, how's our guy? Is he good? I'm like, this likes, look, I'm looking on social. This likes the fifth trip in a row. Is he good?
Yeah, Adam he's a real godsend.
He
He's
really
our
is a
firm's
beautiful
director
man,
of business
beautiful
and
human.
marketing. He's very thorough in
Hmm.
his approach. He is the firm's biggest cheerleader, my personal biggest cheerleader,
Yeah.
the wind beneath my wings for certain. Um, but he also is a very extroverted energy,
Yes.
person. He
Yes.
is he's definitely someone that is dedicated to making people happy
Mm.
and to supporting our partners, whether it be licensing or friends in the industry like yourself, which is great because he knows that I want the firm to be known for being a hospitable
Hmm.
brand that's supportive and welcoming of different individuals. And so you have to have a voice that can represent you, even if your voice is confiscated for the moment. You need someone like that.
It's
So
the
I think
truth.
everyone should
It's
have an
hard
Adam.
to trust. It's the truth. It's hard to trust those kinds of top level conversations with somebody else and know that they're going to handle it in the way you would want to. And Adam is particularly adept at exactly what you said, which is conveying the gratitude that you always have for opportunities, cutting through to, okay, how are we really going to do this though, Lou?
Hmm.
What's the deal?
Hmm.
Like, I'm going to pull him away for something else. So what are we going to do? Right. Like, and you don't feel, it just always feels like a great conversation with a peer colleague on, let's get to the win-win for all the people in this conversation.
Yeah.
But he's, where a business manager could come off and do all the things you need him to do, but come off like the pit bull that just only is like, what's in it for Corey? And
Right.
that's not who you are. And
Right.
dealing with you one on one for many years, I know that's not who you are. And
Hmm.
he has literally adopted that exact. Hey, we're all here to make the
Yeah.
whole industry better. What's Corey's part in this? What are you thinking, Lou? How does
Yeah.
he fit? What do you want him to do? All right, I'll talk to him. I see it. And so I can't not appreciate Adam because I
He's the
love him so
best.
much. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's done a really great job of appointing people that can be the bad cop so that
Ah,
he
good.
can play good cop.
Good,
You know,
good,
we
good.
have we have our PR team, we have our
Mm.
attorneys, we have our licensing attorneys, we have our media attorneys. We have all these different attorneys, to handle contracts and television and licensing, right? So they can be stewards, if you will, or
Yes.
representatives of our brand and can go forward and represent us. But they know that they're going to answer to him ultimately, and then he's going to communicate to me
Yeah.
what is necessary. He keeps
Yeah.
the noise out of my ears. So it's a good balancing act. And I
It
think that
is.
is how I'm able to manage all the verticals is by putting the right people in the right positions
Yeah.
and then letting them manage it. Like again, going back
Mm.
to the key on my chest, like this is your box and here's your key and I'm not going to open it. You lock it away. Don't open it for me unless it's absolutely necessary.
Right.
And we have that respect, and our team I think really works well because we've learned how to compartmentalize our challenges, and we've learned when and when not to bring things up to make us successful, whether it be to a client, to a contractor, a workroom, a partner, or to me.
Yeah.
It's all about timing,
Mm.
and we get that here. We really
Yes.
do.
Yeah, I love it. I just think it's incredible. You said something there that just have to ask you about, which is so not relevant to a whole lot. But is that really a truth that that it makes sense to have various law firms for the different verticals? That's crazy.
Oh yeah, it's also very expensive.
Like this, yeah, but the specialty, like the guy
Yeah,
who can handle the licensing or the woman that handles the licensing isn't really necessarily the right person for the streaming service or this. That's I would not have thought about that. I would have thought like, maybe you were under the umbrella of like an entertainment lawyer and that
mhm.
lawyer could cross the different disciplines. But
Yeah,
that makes
no.
good business sense. Have an expert in each area.
Yeah, it's important, and it's a cost. We hit the budget for that obviously every year and put
Mhm.
away monies in the budget to allocate for that.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but we found that there are different lawyers that excel in different subjects. So
sure.
we have a lawyer that's solely dedicated to just managing our day-to-day in-house materials, whether it be,
Right.
letters of agreement with our client and putting together how to, work together with our projects, our residential and commercial and hospitality projects. She manages all those contracts.
Mm-hmm.
And often those clients have attorneys of their own that they want to, maybe counter or red line. And so I'm not dealing with any of that. Wendy will manage all of that.
Yep.
And then we have our entertainment lawyers that manage all of the television and media stuff. So if I'm
Mm.
talking to a network, like, one of the big streaming giants about doing a television show or masterclass, that attorney tackles that letter of agreement
Right.
and does all the negotiation. You can't say to people, well, I'm worth this and I've accomplished that. It sounds so condescending and kind of haughty, but your advocate can say that for you.
Yes.
So
Right. Can
she
hold out
has,
and
yeah, so
say,
that person, she has that conversation. And
yeah,
then for licensing, that's a whole different animal.
right.
What's the
Different
royalty?
agreements.
Are
Yes.
they purchasing the creative IP, right? Uh, are you purchasing a number of books from our new book to, sell with every, whatever?
Yeah. The
That
connection.
attorney manages all of that detail. So it's important to have skilled people in the right position so that you can run a smooth sailing ship and not worry about overlap that could be financially, difficult to manage if you don't have the right people in place.
Yeah. Or wrong agreements made, missed opportunities made, because it's no different. Look, you wouldn't hire, a residential interior designer to do a 25-story multifamily. Like,
Right.
they don't have the skill set to do that.
Right.
Like, they would have a good idea. They'd have a better idea than you do, like,
Sure.
as the owner of the building, but it's not the same, right?
It's not the
They
same.
can't see ahead the pitfalls that might happen so that you can, craft the agreements and the deals to avoid it. Love it.
Mhm.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, you know what's so funny is, as well as I know you, I always learn something when we do these conversations.
It's so much fun. Yeah, I think it's fun because as careers evolve and businesses grow, you learn a lot.
Mhm.
And the thing that I love about your podcast is you provide a platform that allows people like me and designers that are in the field an opportunity to help and share with others. Because I
Mm.
do think there are many designers out there that would love to get to a point where they can have multiple attorneys to manage certain things. But if we're cagey about how we get there, then no one really benefits. And then the industry really does suffer.
Mhm.
There's a lot of competition out there, as you know, with online purchasing and certain manufacturers who send you oversized catalogs unsolicited to your doorstep
Who
that
shall
sell everything
remain
and
nameless,
who shall
right?
remain nameless, but does everything in shades
But
of
we
gray and
know
beige. But they
exactly.
are hell bent on getting rid of the design community and replacing us,
Oh
right?
my God.
So
Not
we
to
have
mention
to
filling the landfills single-handedly alone.
seriously, like for real,
I'm like,
right?
I get one every year, and I'm just like, I'm in this business and I don't care about the pretty. I
Yeah.
don't want this.
Yeah, absolutely. So our industry has to not only survive, it has to also thrive. And
Mm.
I think talking and keeping it real, it helps designers to navigate these churning waters of crazy and change to be successful.
Yeah.
It's very important.
I love it. I love it. Well, you know that, we could sit here all day and do this because it's too much fun. Before I let you go back to your 19 million responsibilities, is there something, I'll hit you with one of Christy's lines that she used to end her podcast with.
Mhm.
Is there something that I didn't ask you that you'd love to share before we end the conversation today?
Oh, no, I think the big thing is in terms of scaling up for those who are interested in scaling up. My whole thing is just take your time
Mm.
and to just take care of your emotional enamel. We've spoken about this before. Enamel can be cracked, it can be fractured, it can be
Mm.
shattered. It can also be repaired. And so I think that there's a yearning out there for creatives to know that it's going to be okay because there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of doubt and a lot of shaky, crazy world events that are just,
Mm-hmm.
rattling a lot of cages right now. And so my only thing that I would want to share with the designers and others who are listening to our show today is just remember that this is a moment in time. There will be many more moments in time where we will prevail and continue to be successful, and just take care of their hearts and their minds and um, their emotional attire.
Mm.
Keep that in good repair,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, what am I trying to say here? I want the designers out there just to remember that they're seen and to not give
Mm.
up. Don't give
Oh.
up. Don't give in. If
Mm-hmm.
the phone hasn't rang in a minute, don't despair, right?
Right.
Um, if you didn't get that job that you bid on, don't despair.
Yeah.
It wasn't the right job. What's
Right.
meant for you is meant for you,
Right.
and nothing can stop what is designed and meant for you. And to get good rest, to take care of your health, because when the proper job does come, you're going to need to be at 2000% of wattage to
Mm-hmm.
perform and to provide for that client. So that's what I would want to share with your listeners, is just to take good care of themselves emotionally and mentally, and replenish their energy, reserves
Mm.
by by doing all of these things. And just remember that, like I said in my forward of my new book, delays do not mean denial. It just simply means delay,
Yeah. Yeah. I
right?
love that. It's so smart. It's so smart because when you have been through multiple decades of business like each of us have, you do know that it's going to be high, it's going to be low, it's going to be ecstatic, it's going to be a stomach punch. But that line, keep yourself healthy, keep yourself mentally and physically healthy, because whether it's a stomach punch or it's an ecstatic opportunity high, you gotta have the reserves to do it,
Yeah,
right? You gotta be
absolutely.
able to, like, I mean, I notice it already. Like, I've got a week from now, I've got an 11-day double conference coming up.
Oh,
And
wow. Yeah.
I used to like peel that off like nothing. And now I'm just like, whoa, the old girl, she gets tired faster. So, it's like every trip I'm like, I got to build more rest in. And it's finally like, okay, I actually have to do this, right?
Mhm.
So, because you want to be available for the good, cool opportunity. And you do need to have the emotional, I think the physical health informs the emotional reserve when you get brought to your knees,
Yeah,
right?
and I think
Right.
for designers and creatives in general, what we our emotional battery pack, if you will, is
Yeah.
what fuels our creative output.
The
We're
passion
not
is so tied to
It's
it.
so
Yeah.
important.
Hmm.
If that gets damaged, we can't perform, and that's
Mm.
why I'm always encouraging people. If you have a toxic work environment, like let's say you have a client that's toxic, or a contractor that's toxic and bringing negative energy to the job, you may have to make some tough decisions, and those can be very scary decisions, because you may need the revenue and you need the opportunity, and yet it's sapping your life away.
Yeah.
We only get one life. This is not a dress rehearsal. This is it. And I just had a birthday last week, and time is just spinning away so quickly. So I'm trying to encourage people to realize that this may not be the right choice or the right doorway to walk through. And it's
Right.
okay to reverse and back up and
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe go
Yeah.
someplace else,
Mhm.
and know that that takes nothing from you
Right.
as a professional. It doesn't mean you failed or that you messed up. A ship does not sail on the earth, on the waters of the earth in a straight line, because the earth is curved. It is
Mm.
constantly pivoting and making adjustments with the waves and the wind to meet its final destination. And
Mm.
so a designer or a creative may start out thinking that this is where I want to be, and they start sailing towards that destination, and then something comes up, some challenge, some setback. It could be financially, or it could be the economy is rickety, or this client pauses the job for a while because they're experiencing a financial setback. And now you have to pivot and maneuver around this iceberg, if you will, so you don't
Right.
have a Titanic
Mm.
level, upset. And maybe you arrive at the other destination, but maybe it's several miles down the shore from where you thought you would be.
Right.
And I think what we have to create in our industry is a space that says that's okay. That
Hmm.
doesn't mean you failed. It just means you landed differently.
Right. Right.
Delay does not mean denial.
Right. I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. All right. Last thing before you go.
Yeah.
Do we go to Amazon to get the book? Do we go to your website? Give us how do we do that?
Amazon is fine.
Okay.
You
Is
type
that
in
how
Corey
you want
Damen
us?
Jenkins.
Is that how you prefer
Yeah,
people do
that's
it?
fine. Amazon is fine. Barnes and Noble. is
Okay.
fine as well. That's another
Okay.
great website. You can order it online. Barnes and Noble and Amazon often run specials. What I'm excited about with this book is it's a much larger book than Design Remix, both as far as the trim size and also the amount
Oh.
of pages. It's a bigger book. It has these beautiful gilt page edges
Oh
on
my
it. It's
gosh.
copper.
You guys
And
are
if you
something.
take the jacket off, there's a linen peacock fabric that wraps the book. It's a really different book. Like it's very designer level as far as the finishes and the materials that we use. And what I was thrilled with is that for all of the layers that they put into the production of the physical book, it is only $5 more than Design Remix in 2021. I don't
Wow.
know how
How they did
how they
that.
pulled that off,
Yeah.
considering what they put into the gilding of the pages and all the other accoutrement, if you will. But sometimes Barnes and Noble or Amazon run specials right now in this pre-order era. So you can get it from there. Of course, the website, and for Design Reimagined, the series is on my channel on YouTube. So yeah, it's all accessible and bite-sized and relatable and easy to get to.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And so we are going to see each other. We don't have a panel together this high point, which is unusual for us, but I guess we have to, date other people sometimes, It's
Spread the
fine.
wealth, you know. But
Exactly.
maybe in the fall we'll
Yeah.
do something. We'll have something special for the
That'll
fall
be good. That'll be good. But we'll always get a quick hug somewhere, even if it's nowhere else at Cravat. We usually run into each other at the rooftop, right?
at the party. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
We'll text
So
each other and figure that out for
yeah.
sure.
All righty, my friend. I love your guts so much. Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you so much for having me. And everyone out there, have a great day. And I'll see you later this month,
I know, a
LuAnn. I
couple
can't believe
weeks.
it's April already. Oh my God.
I know.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Here's the thing. Every single time I have a conversation with Corey Damen, I walk away with something new. And today, there are 4 powerful lessons that I got and I want to share with you. First, his invisible box strategy for managing client expectations. It's genius. I mean, it's humorous, it's kind, and it sets boundaries without creating conflict. If you've ever struggled to redirect a client's bad idea without damaging the relationship, I know that Corey would have no problem if you stole that technique from him. Second, Corey Damen's ability to create connection with purpose. There was a moment in our conversation about something as simple as a lapel pin that absolutely stuck with me. It might seem small, but the insight is anything but small. And I've got a lot to say about that moment, what it taught me, and how you can apply the same thing to building more trust and presence in your business. If you're on my Inside Voice list, that's where I will be sharing it. So if you've not already subscribed to that, go to luannigara.com/inside voice and join us there. Thirdly, Corey's honesty around imposter syndrome. I mean, you want to scratch your head, right? I mean, you kind of do. And if I didn't know him as well as I did, I might think, really? But I do know Corey very well. And when he tells you something, you take it to the bank that he's talking from his heart. His reminder that imposter syndrome isn't something you eliminate, it's something you manage. It's pretty profound, isn't it? Because we all feel it. I think the trick is recognizing it, working with it, and not letting it take over. These were the lessons that Corey was sharing with us. Fourth, his metaphor about protecting your emotional enamel. I love this visual. He's so good with that. Doesn't he always? I mean, if you've heard him speak over and over again, he always nails you with something that just touches you to the core. Your emotional resilience is just like enamel. It can wear down, it can crack, and it needs conscious care to stay strong over the long term. And what stood out to me most personally was how Corey weaves strategy, humor, and heart together so effortlessly. That's a masterclass on business building and personal branding right there. So here's your action step. Pick one thing Corey shared today, whether it's creating a conversation starter for your next client meeting, using humor to manage boundaries, building resilience against imposter syndrome, or simply taking better care of your emotional enamel, your emotional health. And then put it into action this week. Please don't leave it in a notebook. Please don't, walk while, listen while you're walking and think I'll do it. Open your phone and make a note. What is the action step that you will take? This is a seasoned pro. And if you can take one lesson from him, you will improve your business. And finally, don't forget about Corey's new book, Design Reimagined. It's available now. Go pre-order it. Okay, not just a beautiful book. It's a lifeline for creatives at every stage of your business. And of course, be sure to tune into his new streaming series, Design Reimagined, on YouTube. It's raw, it's real, it's unlike anything else out there because it is truly Corey Damen Jenkins. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, my friend Corey, for coming back. I love our conversations. I love our friendship. I love you. Decide to be excellent. Thank you for joining me today. This podcast is a production of LuAnn Niagara, Inc. If you want to know more about me, my books, or LuAnn University, go to LuAnnNiagara.com. And if you are interested in having WindowWorks help you with your next window treatment or awning project in the New York, New Jersey metro area, go to WindowWorksNJ.com to learn more. Have an excellent day.